everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and I am going to show you guys my update on this cross stitch. I ended up finding this on the Crafters of Peloton Facebook group. I will link to that group, and it is a pinned post up at the top of the group, so you can grab it. It's a Peloton cross stitch, and it covers whatever workouts. So I don't know if I have one of the sample pictures. Yeah, so here's like the beginning. It talks about instructions and stuff. And there is a color for each type of Peloton workout. And these are the DMC numbers for each color. I didn't go by that. I just used my own colors. I've talked about this when I first started doing this, but I use a gray, a light to dark pink, and a light to dark teal, and then some metallics. And so I have outlined this. I ended up changing like midway through the month. I ended up moving a few things around. I wanted meditation to be dark teal instead of 2 or more strength and walk run was going to be dark teal. I changed it to meditation. I didn't want dark teal to be a common thing. Like if I do hardcore on the floor calendar, I would do dark teal in that case. And I changed it so that my strength is the lighter teal. So I just moved a couple of things around on that, and that's the categories I've stuck with since like the first couple of days. And then I ended up writing in the numbers for which day each loop was, and I didn't like that that was a day, the little one stitch in the middle. So I ended up just now starting to try to change it to where the middle to the center two are the same day. So generally speaking, I do more than one thing a day. Sometimes I do, but ordinarily I'll do like 2 things. So I ended up writing it out, having the big loop be one day and then the 2 middle ones be 2 different workouts, whatever things I do that day. So if I don't happen to have 2 workouts that day, I'll have to adjust and like make the center one a 3rd day. My goal really is to just not leave blanks. I'm going to be doing Peloton stuff pretty much every day, so mine's not going to end up looking much like this one, ideally. Like this is when you skip days, you get this different eclectic looking pattern. I'm going for filling in the whole thing, so I'm going to adjust as needed. Even on rest days, I do meditation, so they'll be dark teal even on rest days, hopefully. Hopefully I won't miss an actual day. And so I'm writing in like the black pen is me writing in January, and I will change my pen color as I move up so I know what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's how I've set it up. I ended up adjusting numbers to start doing 2 for one day. And before we get to the actual cross stitch and talk about it, I ended up getting this Floss Organizer, and it is one of the coolest things. I didn't know something like this existed, and I needed more needles for it, so I ended up getting more needles too. So this is set up in a way that you put your extra thread over here, and whatever thread you're using goes over here on the needle. So when you're swapping colors a lot, it makes sense that you have already threaded your things. I was finding in the very beginning, that was my limiting factor. My slowest step is switching needles, like threading and unthreading, and I was getting tangled floss because I didn't have anything to put any of this floss in. So I'm very excited about it. I will end up also getting some of those bobbin, like the flat spool things, and putting these on it because this is getting unruly like when I go to get more yarn. So I need to just put those in a little floss container. But this is an awesome organizer. I love that I can have my needles ready to go. So like on any day that I'm doing things, it's super easy to just grab what colors I need. And I tend to, every other couple of nights, I tend to just grab this, work on this while we're watching some reruns of whatever we're watching at the time. It happens to be Scrubs right now. We're going through all the episodes and all the seasons. But I really like this. I can write what color it is, and then on some of these ones that are for each day, I wrote the actual thing that it is. So I don't have to necessarily look at the chart. I can look just at this. Like if I'm doing yoga, I know it's this medium color. If I'm doing strength training, I know it's the light teal, and on and on. So I love, love, love this. This is a game changer for my process here, and it's made it super easy to just grab this, do a couple of stitches, and then walk away from it. Now the other thing I had gotten before I started this project, when I was hauling everything, I ended up getting a different kind of, I don't know what these are called. It's just holding it. It's kind of one of like those cross stitch hoops. I have some hoops, like circular things, but I've never used this like tubing kind before. The tubing just, I don't think you're going to really be able to see it, but it's 4 different tubes that you intertwine to make a square. And then these things go on the sides of it. And I really like this. You can see over time it gets loose. So I will like rotate it around, and then I will pull one off, which is a little bit tricky. I'm not the best at that part of it. Hold on. So I'll pull it off as needed, and in order to get these ends tucked in around the edge, I have had to pull them off and work like that for a second, but then you just pop it back on. The popping on is not the hard part, it's the getting it off. You're pulling the surface tight, and then you can rotate these and tighten as needed a little bit, which is good because with the hoops I have to loosen it, pull the sides of it, and then retighten it, whereas this you just pop one off and retighten it, and you can also for a while just like pull them down the sides to tighten again. So here is almost a month's worth of work. It is currently the 27th, so I still have a few more days to get through the end of January, but I really love how it's turning out. You can see all the different colors have been used. I haven't used a whole lot of the light teal because I haven't done a whole lot of the hardcore on the floor calendar this month. And I did a lot of writing, like PELOTON was the dark pink. I did a 30-minute this day that the end was because I ended up messing up my numbers. So I have the numbers a little bit different. I did a really long yoga yesterday and it's just looking really good. So I had a lot of badges come up at the same time. So during PELOTON I had a lot of different badges, and then when I got the silver medals for a couple of things, I had a lot of badges come up then too. So I put all of those on here, and I really like how it looks. It still looks eclectic, this page, where you can see the different medals and badges are put in there. So it still will look eclectic. It won't be completely filled in. Like sometimes you'll have just the stitches on this pattern part, which I like. So I'm getting still that eclectic look without missing a day of PELOTON. I still get my little blue circle, hopefully every day. So far this month, so good. So there's how it looks. And then some of these edge ones, I decided to just do without numbers. You can see some of these smaller edges aren't actually numbers. And I'm going to continue with that. Like this won't be a day. This won't be a day. Things like that. They'll be just added in as I'm stitching. So I really like how it's turning out. I really enjoyed putting it together. I really like this size too. I think this is the 18 count. The stitches are nice and cute, and it's going to make my tracker end up being pretty nice size, like when all is said and done, because this is the bottom of the PELOTON P. Let's see if I have a picture. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Here, yeah, here's a sticker. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So right now I'm just doing the very tip of the bottom of it, and you can see it's going to be pretty big. I really like the size of it. I'm excited to frame it one day. But yeah, total game changers. The beginning few days were pretty rough. I think I ended up getting my stuff like a week into it, and I ended up doing the first week of stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is really tricky, really difficult, because I didn't have a good way to sort things, and I think I had 3 needles, so I couldn't keep a whole lot with a needle. And also, oh, there's one other thing I wanted to mention, which is total game changer too. The needles came with a needle threader. Let's see if I can find it in here. Oh, it's in the bigger bag. One thing is I don't find it easily. It's like thrown in the bottom. It came with a needle threader. I have never used one of these. I've always just really tried to stick it through the needle. And this is such an awesome tool. I had no idea that it existed. You guys can tell I'm not a huge cross stitcher, but this is so awesome. It took me a minute to figure out what to even do with it. I was just kind of confused. Here are some of the new needles I got. I like that they are gold on the end, so you can tell which end is which really easily without having to like spin it around and make sure you see a hole. So there's a needle, and then you just take your little needle threader and you stick it in there, and then you hook your embroidery floss on there and pull it through, and it's threaded, and it's so easy. So the metallic ones are really difficult to work with, like really difficult to thread on the needle, and also really difficult just to stitch because they, I don't know, they're like a weird braided feel to them, and they're not as easy to stitch. And I was having the hardest time threading them on, and now I can thread them because of this. So I definitely recommend getting one of these. I had no idea this was a thing, and when it came in the package, like I guess I didn't read the description. I didn't even know what it was. Like looking at it, I was like, what is this? I almost tossed it. I didn't even think about it for a little while. And then it hit me what it was, and I figured out how to use it, and it's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing. I always was like frustrated trying to thread everything. But now I have all like the game-changing tools, the organizer, the threader, more needles so that I don't have to switch colors I ran out of silver and didn't rethread it yet. So I just really like how it's starting to look. You can really get a feel for like the colors that it's gonna be. I do like the different metallics in there as well, but the base colors are just so pretty. I love the pinks and the teals. And that's it. I think that's all I've got for you guys today. I just wanted to show you guys my progress on this. It's just so much fun. Like, we'll sit down and watch a scrub episode and I'll stitch my like last couple of days really quick, and it's I don't know, it's a relaxing activity. I've always liked cross stitching. It's one of those things where when we're watching something, I don't like to sit still. Like, my hands still want to be busy. So it's something kind of mindless that I can do while I watch. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought, especially now. I just have to count, like when I start a new row, I don't really have to count for much of these. Like, I could just watch the side ones and look at them and decide how big the square has to be. I don't have to count all the way around, which makes it a lot easier. That's it for now. I hope you guys like this look. I will leave links to various things. I got my thread, my canvas, and then my, I don't even know what to call this, my hoop. It's a square hoop. I got all of those at 123stitch.com, and everything came really well. I did a haul on that, and I'll link that haul down below if you guys want to see that. If you want to know what exact colors I'm using for everything, that's in the description box. And I will also link to the Crafters of Peloton Facebook group where this is posted, so you can get that if you want to grab it. But I hope you guys liked this look. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.